before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. It's Friday. 833-212-1017 is the number. What'd you say you was going to do Saturday, Sunday?
I'm doing nothing but sleeping.
Why is that?
Because I am tired.
What are you tired from? You ain't did nothing.
I done did too much.
You ain't did.
This election season just been hectic. It's over. Now I could get a reset, and it's like a brand new season come Monday.
But what do you need a reset for? What are you resetting from?
Because I'm tired.
Understand.
My sleep schedule been messed up. I've been having to come in at 6 a.m. random days, working till 11 p.m. It's too much going on, especially, come on now, the election season just started. Just like the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals are the politicians or the political atmosphere, and we the truth. So we gotta, you know what I'm saying, handle our business. Come on, we the best black talk station in the nation, so we gotta do what we do, and I'm tired.
Oh, poor baby. Were you talking like the whole week or something?
I was doing a little bit of everything the whole week.
You better learn how to say no. Can you? No. Do you want to? No.
I got a bad problem with that. I do got to work on that.
Yep. I make it a point to say no. I do.
I can't make sure. Like he got his way to say no.
That's right. Steve Scafidi is going to be coming on at about 15 minutes after the hour, somewhere in there, to really talk about this whole political thing and what's going on, and really discuss. Trying to get my computer straight, and really discuss what happened this week. Maybe this will be the last comment about politics. You think? You think? So somebody was asking me, should I, how do you feel about how people feel about what happened with the election? It's over. Every 6 years, you get a president that comes in, even though we vote every 4 years. And for the next 2 years, we're going to have a president that has both the House and the Senate, and they're going to do what they do. And then it'll split. One of them will split, or they'll lose both, and then we'll just be here. But for some reason, we have this thing that we just panic and we lose our minds. So here's what I thought I'd do. This is Pop Off Friday. And I read an article on BuzzFeed that made me go, wait, what? What am I reading? So, trying to figure out what it says. 17 things that are definitely privileges, even if you don't realize it. Now, you tell me whether or not you agree with these things. It makes no sense. Number 1, good health. What? Most people that are not in good health is not about them not having access to health care, in my opinion. And I know half of y'all going to disagree with everything I say anyway, so I'm just saying. Number 2, clean tap water. Really? Are there places that do have clean tap water? Yes. Are there places like Milwaukee that have lead in their water pipes? Yes. But by and large, anyway. Number 3. This one is for DJ Brother Z. Going out to eat. I remember a time when my mom took us out and the bill was more than she thought. You could see her doing the math in her head of how she would afford this. Well, number 1, why you go somewhere where it costs too much. But number 2, going out to eat. Don't you go out to eat?
What you trying to say, Dr. Ken? No, what you trying to say? This is for DJ Brother Z.
It's for DJ Brother Z, going out to eat. Don't you love to go out to eat?
No.
You lying.
I love home-cooked meals.
But you always go out to eat, don't you?
Okay, and?
All right, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Number 4, marriage equality. Skip that one. Number 5, having parents who I can live with to save money. How's that a privilege? Being able to go to a doctor. Anybody, when you go to a doctor, they have to stabilize you and make you safe. Number 7, I wouldn't say always having the power on at home is a privilege. Being able to call an ambulance without worrying about the bill. Do you really worry about the bill if you need an ambulance and call 911? I wouldn't care whether I could afford it or not. Definitely being able to afford healthy, fresh food and having the knowledge of how to make meals from it. Having a car. Is having a car a privilege? You had a car in high school, didn't you, Jason?
Yeah, I got my car now at 16.
All right. Bougie. Being able to buy whatever good soap, shampoo, and laundry detergent you like. How is that a privilege?
I don't know if that was a privilege.
Accessibility. I'm limited from going so many places because there aren't wheelchair accessible. So I'm privileged that I don't have a disability. I don't understand that one. I don't understand that. I get what you mean from the point of the person who has the disability, but I don't know. Number 13, being able to afford to have your kids home for the summer. What? Because there are free and reduced lunches at schools. What? Having new clothes that have only been worn by you. That's a privilege? Going on holiday each year. especially to other countries. I can see that being a privilege, but going on vacation is not a privilege. You can get in the car, you can take the bus and go somewhere. Number 16, watch this. Having parents in the same industry you are pursuing. So if your father's a medical doctor and you want to be a medical doctor, that's a privilege. If your father's a bus driver and you want to be a bus driver, that's a privilege. You know what I wanted to be when I was growing up? You ever ride the L in Chicago? You ever ride an L, period? Wow. Rapid transit?
No, I ain't never did it.
We'll have to take you to Chicago so we could take the L.
No, it's like I don't even know what the L is.
Wow. Elevated train.
Oh, yes, I've never been on a train in my life.
Oh, my.
Besides the zoo.
I don't think that counts. The zoo train, dude. You actually... And y'all wonder why I pop off on Fridays. It's because of Jason. His idea of a train is that idiotic train you sit in at the zoo. You never took the Amtrak? I'm going home now. Tell Steve Scafidi he could take over my show and he could just do it because I'm. Chicago, Minneapolis, New York. You drive to Chicago, downtown, it's like $25 for a ticket. Can I get a producer? If anybody's listening and you'd like to produce my show today, can we get a... So now they're in there arguing about paying for a parking ticket versus taking the train for $25. And then number 17, finally, living in creative mode instead of survival mode.
That one not a privilege. Because anybody got the capability to live in, like, come on. It's all about mindset, mind state.
Can you teach millennials that, please? Because they don't seem to understand that. I've only seen one of maybe two of these things that I would consider being a privilege. But the way they described it is something that I don't understand. A luxury. That's ridiculous because isn't the whole point of living, getting an education, working, and making enough money to take care of you, and if you want to have a family, and living a good life? So now, here's what I'm hearing. Being middle class is a luxury. Working hard, making a good living is a luxury. Really? So what should you do with it? Like, what should I do with my luxury of education and breathing and talking and I don't know. I don't get, like, how are those... Is it a privilege to want your children to grow up and go to the best school they can go to and then work hard and get the money and do it? Is that a privilege? Is that luxury? Eight 833-212-1017 is the number. Black Conscience, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
God yourself in good health, Doc. Now, that one you just spoke on, no, that's a choice.
Which one?
That's a choice you make.
Which one?
The education, the education part, the last one you spoke on. That's a choice you make for the better part of your children. And it's still a privilege in some form or fashion. But 15 out of the 17 you mentioned, I agree. Well,
give me your definition of what a privilege is.
Well, I'll give you this. My experience when I went to Africa and all the things you named, except for maybe one or two of them, I've said to myself, as Americans, we are privileged. Now, I'm not.
Is that a bad thing?
There's a different privilege. No.
Oh, okay.
But we're No, it's not a bad thing, but we take it for granted.
No, don't speak for everybody. Only speak for you.
No, I'm only, okay, I can speak for myself too, but there are some who take that advantage, and don't realize the privilege that you have because they're so focused on another race, calling them privilege. Now, how I gained that experience, how I gained that insightfulness, going over to Africa. That changed my whole perspective on life and gave me a new profound outlook on things that I would never call a pinto privilege, with the exception of the judicial system and maybe a few jobs here and there. But we as Americans are privileged. And the one they didn't mention
it sounds like you're saying that because Americans are privileged, it's like this big thing or it's this important thing. Like, I don't understand that.
Well, I would love to come on as a guest and we can elaborate that. But two, I'm only speaking to that article, and it is somewhat true. I mean, just having.
So working hard, reaching middle class, being able to send your kids to the best school that you can because you worked your way there is a privilege? In
some cases, it can be because there are some institutions that are hard to get into, or that you have to pay astronomical prices to get into when you go to Africa.
But that's Africa. You live in America. These are some things that are just everyday things.
And I'm speaking of that everyday thing.
But why are we comparing ourselves to Africa when we don't live in Africa?
Well, no.
And why is it that people that live in Africa want to come here so that they can have our good life?
Because the privileges that we have here.
I don't get the privilege thing. I don't get the privilege. I worked hard for it.
Well, I think
it's not a privilege because I worked hard and I went to school and I raised a family and I got an education. I don't know if I appreciate
that you made a
saying that I'm privileged when I worked my behind off.
And your work ethics.
You're saying that's a privilege to be able to have work ethic?
No, that was a choice, and that is something that's embedded in you.
All of this is a choice. All of these things are choice. They're not a privilege. You got to earn this stuff. You got to go to work and earn enough money to have clean tap water. You have to earn enough money to pay your bills. Come on.
Well, you don't have to go to work to earn clean tap water. I mean, that's given to the poor.
Taxpayers pay for it. So are you saying poor people who can't afford clean water are privileged in America because we pay for it?
That's what you said. What I'm saying is
homeowners pay taxes that give you police, fire, DPW, all the city services, and not one of most of those people own houses and pay taxes through property tax. So we should take it all back because otherwise they're privileged.
Yet and still, they get the honors of having those services provided for us.
So they're privileged. So they're privileged.
Yeah.
So poor people are privileged.
In some form or fashion, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you much.
Live righteous, Milwaukee.
I appreciate it. So really what I'm hearing, based on these 17 things, life is a luxury.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices. One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best.
For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. You know what? I like to play it. No dickity, no doubt. Play on, play it. Play on, play it. Yo, Dre, drop the verse. It's going down.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. And on the phone today is my good friend and teammate, Steve Scafidi from Political Power Hour. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Dr. Ken?
I don't know. It's Pop-Off Friday, so I'm kind of going off on everything and everybody that says really.
I heard the conversation. I was listening along.
So what do you think? I mean, are those things privilege or is it just everyday life? I mean, I don't know.
I'm a big fan of people earning their way, and I don't like to sort of think that some people are getting an easy road, because I can tell you there's people that I grew up with in middle-class suburbia that didn't turn out well, and they had the same advantages that I had. So yeah. I think a lot of it is self-determined by each of us.
Wow. I totally agree. Speaking of determination, what's your overview of this election this past Tuesday? You were on the air like forever, all night.
Oh, I did 8 hours in a 12-hour period.
Yeah.
So I was on the air a lot. You probably can hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated by elections, especially presidential elections, and I always stay up anyway. So I thought this year I'd have some fun and be on the air, and I did. It was an interesting night. I'll give you my quick overview. Is that I think for a lot of Americans, they saw the two candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and they made the choice that Donald Trump was going to fix some things that they're concerned about, and those things are the economy when it comes down to individual budgets. I think they thought that Trump would help that, maybe inflation. And on the border and immigration policy, they saw, and probably I agree, the Democrats this time and Republicans previously had sort of messed around with the ideas of that we could control our border, which I think any responsible country should do. And they said, you know what? I don't trust Harris, who's sort of been working on this issue for a while, supposedly from the Biden administration.
Right.
I'm going to give it back to the guy that was there before. And the last thing, there's something called the power of the incumbents. Now, neither one of these two candidates were the incumbent president. That was Joe Biden. But Trump's been there before. Harris has no such claim. She was a vice president. She never was president before. She certainly was the incumbent president. So little things matter, and when you have races like Wisconsin that are 30,000 margins, or in some other states that are also pretty close, little things matter, and I think that's the reason why Donald Trump won the election.
Interesting. So how devastating is this loss going to be for the Democratic Party? I mean, every 4 and 6 years, doesn't all this happen where everybody switches places and all that?
Well, certainly that's the cycle now, right? I mean, we've had this for now 30, 40 years. And, you know, it's a byproduct of our country. We are a divided country, divided state. Certainly Wisconsin fits into that description. Now, I would hope that at some point people figured out if that's going to be the future until we're all not here anymore, then we probably should figure out a way to make that system work where one side has the power, the other side has the power, and we just keep going back and forth. Otherwise, you get really inconsistent foreign policy, or in the case of the last probably 3-4 years, maybe longer than that, you get nothing but arguments, and you get nothing that's really positive about policy, which ultimately that's what we send the people there for. And if you don't have that, then what's the point? So
removing Powell from the whole economic thing, the stock market, I watched, I was listening to you on the radio, and I watched Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, where the stock market futures were up 1,495 points. Like that's historic, but does that mean anything?
Well, I mean, it certainly means something on paper. I mean, those of us who've been working for a long, I got a 401k in 1984.
Wow!
So you can imagine that I benefited from that.
Yes.
And you know, I've told the story before. Not only did I have a 401k, but I had the decision to also have a pension that was the company gave me.
Right.
And a lot of people that I worked with at the time said, well, what do I need a 401k for? I've got a pension. Well, at some point, our pension went away. And so I still get something, but thankfully I have the 401k. So when you ask, what does this mean? If you're a person who saves and invests and has a plan for the future that everyone should have, regardless of how small, this benefits you on paper. Ultimately, markets can go up and down, and timing is certainly part of that. But I think saving is always a good idea. And I always tell people, because people go, oh, well, it's easy for you, right? They assume that I'm making all this money or whatever. A small amount of money invested from your paycheck, pre-tax, after-tax, whatever you want to do, grows so much over time, decades,
yes, it does.
That it's silly not to do that. Even if it's $5, $10, $25, whatever it is, you won't miss it, but you'll certainly benefit it, down the road.
Yes, you will. And finally, this Hovde Baldwin, I think I'm going to call her Teflon Donna, because I mean, nothing sticks to her. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't show up for 5.5 years. And then she shows up in the last 6 months, gets reelected, and then goes back into the ether. And now Hovde lost by pretty much the same numbers that Trump won. So I got to ask, is Wisconsin red or blue or purple or what?
When it comes to Tammy Baldwin, it's certainly blue. But I think we are a purple state because we had that mixed result, Trump winning, beating Harris, and then ultimately Baldwin outperformed Harris. Right. She got more votes than Harris did. Right. On the other side, Hovde underperformed Donald Trump. That's the race. And we can talk law. We can talk an hour on Hovde Baldwin. Baldwin, she is whatever she is. People seem to want to elect her. And you're right. You don't hear a lot from her in that time before the elections. She's certainly very vocal during it. And I'll say one thing about Hovde. I had him on my show like 3 or 4 times. Nice man, smart man. Certainly a business, a tycoon, really. He's done really well for himself with his bank. But I think Wisconsin might be growing weary of the individuals who spend, maybe half the year here. We had that with Tim Michels a little bit, who ran for governor. He was also sort of a part-time residents. We see a little bit of that with Hovde, a little bit with Ron Johnson, too, and he just barely squeaked it out against Mandela Bard. So I think Wisconsin wants to see its candidates and then its elected officials sort of be around all year long and all term long. I think that's what I would say about it.
Steve Scafidi, Political Power Hour. You can listen to him every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock on our sister station, 620 WTMJ. Thank you much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you as well, Dr. Ken. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There's something about a plate of warm cookies that sends you back in time. Relive your childhood memories with this year's We Energies Cookie Book. Pick up your copy and start creating new memories. Go to WeEnergies.com to find a distribution event near you. Thank you for making us a part of your family traditions. From all of us at We Energies, we offer you warm wishes for a bright holiday season. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cogg's Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/thereason to get started.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Eastbound 94 got some backups from Highway F all the way past Brookfield Road, almost to Calhoun. We've got more delays out of the Zoo interchange through the stadium to 35th Street, where there was an accident that finally got cleared out of the way. In the backup here, we've got at 84th Street, the center lane blocked with a broken down vehicle. So that is definitely going to affect your ride. On the westbound side, slowing from 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. And then more delays west of Barker Road all the way to Highway 164. And still dealing with an issue on Greenfield Avenue eastbound at 81st Street. All eastbound lanes of Greenfield are closed right now because of a crash. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly clear, low of 43 at the lake, 36 inland. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, night showers, a high of 56. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth. It's powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snibe. After losing 6 straight games, the Milwaukee Bucks got back into their winning ways on Thursday night, beating the Utah Jazz. This one by a final score of 123-100.
Giannis corkscrewing down low and stuffs it down with one hand again. Giannis, got to be his 8th dunk of the night.
Giannis would finish the night with 31 points, and his co-star Damian Lillard adding 34.
Tonight was the first night they did 4 or 5 actions, and it was beautiful. I can't wait to watch and show them, because that's quicker. It was just beautiful basketball, and the more they do that, the better for all of us.
Next up for the Bucks are the New York Knicks. Tonight, tip-off set for 6:30. And lastly, over to the NFL, where Week 10 got underway as the Baltimore Ravens survived a late push by the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. This one by a final score of 35-34. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Remember, FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Grammy nominations are out. Did you know that? Grammy nominations are out. 2025 Grammy Awards have officially dropped, and we want to see who's getting it. Here's some basic stuff. Beyonce, of course, she leads with 11 for her album Cowboy Carter. Because the country music was like, this is your first foray into country music, so no, you don't get no love here. But evidently they like something. Album of the year. She's never won, despite being the most awarded Grammy artist in the history. Tied for second place, and if I say some names wrong, love me, okay? Charlie XCX. Okay, I didn't get it. Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, Post Malone. Third place with 6 nominations are, even though she belongs in last place, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, and is it Chappelle Roan? I don't know who that is. Okay.
Chapel or something like that. I don't know who that is.
Chappel.
Yeah.
That's usually Chappelle, but I'll go with Chapel. Because Chapel is Chapel. I'm just saying. And her Eternal Sunshine album, Ariana Grande, remember her? Yeah, well, yeah. She got the biggest snub. She only got 3 nominations. None of them are in major categories. So they was like, hey, no album of the year, no song of the year, no record of the year. Like, I don't understand what's the difference between a record of the year and song of the year. And who plays records anymore? You don't know what a record is?
Yeah, I know what a record
All right,
is.
so,
I don't know what the difference between a record and a song is.
Oh, my.
It's the same thing. It's a record. I mean,
that's my point. What?
I don't know the difference between a record and a song.
So now we're making up categories so that we can give people awards. So the number 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 was Why We Can't Be Friends. Ariana Grande. 0 nominations. Who's she make mad? She is kind of weird girl, though. If you look at it, she's kind of weird. Also among those snubbed is the Taylor Swift. 6 nominations, including one Best Album of the Year. But did you see Eras, the tour film?
I did not watch Taylor Swift anything.
Best Music Film? She didn't get nominated. Highest grossing concert film of all time. I don't understand why they got pictures of her. She just don't do it. I'm sorry. That's just me. Which is what?
So the record of the year, that award goes to like all of the artists, producers, sound engineers, mixers, and all of that. While the song of the year goes to the songwriters.
And so because your record is fire, you should just give it out one time to everybody, the singer down to, and call it a day.
I agree with that. I don't see why they separate that because the songwriter should be a part of the record of the year.
They want to say we gave away 8,000 awards this year. Really? Okay. All right. Aside from those 2, other people snubbed are Dua Lipa, who received 0 nominations, and Jack Antonoff, who won't defend his title as producer of the year because he got it like 8 million bazillion times, and so now they finally say go somewhere and sit down. Hoosiers Too Sweet, which I'm certain you've heard. Megan Thee Stallion's Hiss, not nominated, even though they're successful. But then again, we thought we could just bring Megan in front of you and have her dance and drink and act a fool, and all the black guys will vote for. Anyway, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. And so I know some people are going to be frustrated with the nominations, but wow. Somebody said, blank the Grammys, Ariana is getting an Oscar.
She did just drop like a big movie. I don't was it Snow White or something? It was
like
a big movie.
We'll see. Well, why don't you Google it since you got it in front of you? Because, I got to type it, Ariana Grande movie.
Oh, Wicked, actually. It's called Wicked.
Yeah, that's a good movie. That's a good movie. It was a dumb kitty type movie. It was good. It was good. I don't know if she's going to win an Oscar for that. If they're giving out Oscars like, I don't know, out of the Cracker Jack box. Y'all eat Cracker Jacks? Y'all know what that is? Cracker Jack?
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah, exactly. That's all I was about to say. Is it popcorn?
I'm done. I just... Wrong genre, wrong generation. Okay. I'm going to go somewhere and sit down. The movie Wicked is out November 20th, so you can see previews and trailers of it. But thank you, Anika. Appreciate you. You can see trailers of it. It'll probably be a great movie. She'll win an Oscar, and that'll be that. So, I don't know. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. Tell them to leave my producer alone. Quit distracting you. So, it's Friday. It's Pop Off Friday. It pop off about everything. And remember, in 5 o'clock hour, assistant professor of computer science, something that I definitely can use. We'll be talking about AI again. Robert Wall is going to be here, so make sure you check it out. But no, so those are the ones. So best music films, right? John Batiste for American Symphony, June Carter Cash for June, Run DMC, Kings from Queens, that's a good one. Stevie Van Zandt, Disciple, and then various artists, The Greatest Night in Pop. Anybody know what The Greatest Night in Pop was?
Wasn't it I saw the documentary.
The night after the Grammys, they recorded We Are the World.
Yeah.
That was not The Greatest Night in Pop. That song sucked.
What? Time out. What?
Come on, Jason.
That song sucked. First off, Michael Jackson wrote that song, so we got to put some respect on that.
No. And half the stuff they talked about, as if Africa was this place where it's just dirt and people sit around on boxes and beg for water. And then you go to a major metropolitan city and they got streets and running water and banks, and it's just dumb. It's like, these people come up and all of a sudden they have an understanding in their mind of how Africa is, and it's just this terrible. I'm like, dude, Africa's a continent. That's like you saying, when I go to North America, like, really? Which country? It just makes no sense. The little children. It's an idiotic song that's completely and totally inaccurate about the world, which shows you got so much money, you're so stupid that you didn't pay attention in school. So here's what we're going to do. Find the song. Find it. Some of the dumb stuff they say in We Are. I'm like, what? Best movie, best documentary you will ever see in your life is called Poverty, Inc. INC, period. And it talks about the scam that people use raising money for these countries and keep them desolate. And they create jobs for people that are NGOs, non-governmental organizations that raise money and just make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars a year and keep people in jobs, but never help anybody. This is what it sounds like. Dumb. D-U-M-B.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call.
If you don't turn that light off.
Come together as one. There are people dying.
Sad.
Oh, when it's time to lend a hand.
Where they dying at?
The greatest gift of all.
If y'all could see them in there,
we can't go on.
If y'all could see singing, don't even pretend like you singing it. Oh my gosh. They got a microphone and they're trying to sing. With some headphones on that he can't hear himself sing. If y'all could see DJ Brother Z, y'all would trip. You know, I should put you on YouTube. Can I have some money and not some love? Love don't pay your mortgage. It don't pay your rent. It don't pay your gas, your tuition bill. Really? Really? If I could save my own life, well, come on.
I'm just saying.
Come on. No, keep it going. Keep it going.
This song is just legendary.
It's dumb.
Especially when Mike come on. Because Mike's still the show, obviously.
So we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children.
Does this face look like it's like excited?
So let's start giving.
No, it does not. Ridiculous. Saving our own lives? If we could do that, we wouldn't have poor people. Knuckle brain. Knuckle brain. Can you turn Michael down?
That right there was crazy.
He just sung a lyric. That's all he did. Like, really?
That one was crazy.
Who is that singing right now?
I know. Cindy L. Start with the L. Cindy.
No, it's not. It's Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, yeah.
Go somewhere and sit down. He don't even know who he listening to.
Listen, some of these white artists, I have no clue.
Okay, you can just turn it up. Right. And what did that song do? Nothing. Did it stop war? No. Did it feed people? No. Did it stop hunger? No. Did it stop people from pillaging Haiti? No. So what are we talking about?
I think it's the biggest selling song ever.
I doubt that.
Top 3.
I doubt that. See, what I don't understand about you is like you're so quick to run to ChatGPT and Google when it's something that you know. And then when I say something, he just looks at me like, I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to cross my arms and I'm going to sit here because I don't want him to be right. Really? Top grossing song.
Hold on, time out.
In the world. Exactly. Because I knew that. I wanted you to look it up. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
That song ain't touching We Are the World. That song ain't touching Michael Jackson's solo song.
50 million copies sold from 1942.
That's not even the best Christmas song of all time. You got Mariah Carey.
All I Want for Christmas Is You?
Yeah, that's the best Christmas song ever.
Christmas is about Jesus, not all I want for Christmas is you. All right. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Telly was getting frustrated because he couldn't connect to Wi-Fi, and he was like, Tony said, "Oh, crud." I was like,
wow.
Crud? Oh, crud. Crud knuckles.
Tony get all of my words on the golf course because I don't curse, and if I do something wrong, my go-to word is fudge.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So there's some people that Quincy Jones, God rest his soul, he was, I think, the coldest musician ever, in history. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody else say. He was the coldest. One of the coldest albums he produced was sung by a guy named James Ingram. Sung by James Ingram and Patty Austin.
How do you keep the music playing? How do you make it last? How do you keep the song from fading too fast? How do you
Now that's music.
How do you not run out of new things to say?
Here it is.
And since we know.
So James Ingram and Patty Austin have sung with Quincy Jones for years. You're talking about a guy who has one of the coldest voices I've ever heard, but she doesn't really get a lot of, traction. So 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me check the talking text line and see what's going on up in here. Yeah, somebody said the movie is Wick. Ooh, that's a lot. Y'all silly. Record of the year represents the whole album. Song is just one song. No, that's not true. Right. Why they still can't call it album, I think, because of the academic definition of the word album. Wicked was the movie. It's out November 20th. It raised money to feed hungry Africans, and it worked. I smell a hater. Okay, well, who were the Africans? And what hungry Africans do you know, other than those in war-torn countries like Rwanda? This thing in people's brain that Africa is this desolate, terrible place. There are significant places in Africa that are bustling and growing and just great places to visit. But I don't know. It's this, I don't know, we live in... The song is about telling people to help, and it worked. Okay. It raised millions of dollars and fed a lot of hungry Africans. Prove it. Prove it. Show me where the money went. Where is the money? Show me how it was spent. Exactly. You can't. Because we do a lot of that pontificating. And then when it comes time to show somebody something, well. Yeah. That's unfortunate. But anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. In the 5 o'clock hour, we got the top 5 at 5 that's coming. And then we got our guest, Robert Wall from Concordia University, talking about AI. Y'all got any questions about AI? Hit me on the talking text line, 833-212-1017, or go to the chat on YouTube. I haven't checked the chat on YouTube today. Oh, my gosh. That's a terrible... I can't type. Okay. Oh, move this. Click that. Let's see. What's in the chat? By the way, remember, it's college month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And we want to help our young scholars get those free scholarship dollars all month long. We'll be highlighting local universities who offer free tuition scholarships, local organizations who help children find thousands of dollars in scholarships every single year. Make sure you tune in right here to 1017 The Truth all month long so you don't miss the important information on how your student can go to college and be debt-free. I mean, I might have to pay for like room and board, because that's what everybody should do, pay for room and board, rent and all that stuff. But, I mean, it's a great thing. Make sure you listen all month long. Next week, we'll have an interview with someone from Concordia University. You've heard things all this time from Educators Credit Union, and so I think it's going to be great. We'll be right back.
The Milwaukee Panthers continue their road trip as they head to Virginia Wednesday night to take on the Longwood Lancers.
We have confirmed that. Back goes John Lovelace Jr. Transition dunk on a tomahawk for Johnny.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield.
Stillwell offensive rebound, spin, score, and a foul.
Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You said
said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. Y'all see how I be talking, he just cut it off. Dude is like already gone. He's already gone. Friday at 5:02, he's gone. He's like, y'all done yet? Y'all done yet? Turn the music up. Somebody said the sound. I know what the song was, Leon Jr. I know what it did. I don't care. I don't care. Where's the money? Show me the money. That's all I'm saying. 833. I'm just saying. We talk all this trash about ain't nobody seen a dime from it. We don't know. No. Do you know anybody in Africa that has said, "Hey, thank you for sending the money. It really helped me out"? No, you didn't.
Number 5.
From CBS 58, Gwen Moore celebrates funding for the McCannon Brown Homeless Sanctuary. This is great. Democratic Congresswoman Gwen Moore gave a warning for women in the wake of the election. She said, "God help a woman who lives in a place like Florida or Texas. Have we seen that numbers of women who are dying because of these laws? We're going to have to be there to pick up the pieces." Re-elected Congresswoman spoke at the McCannon Brown Homeless Sanctuary on Center Street. She said she was there to highlight some new funding for the shelter, $500,000 toward construction of a stair tower. So the construction of this project is to really provide people with very basic needs for people who are homeless, near homeless, families that have more mouth than money, and people who don't need to be judged, they need to be fed. So congratulations to Congresswoman Moore. That was some great work you did in bringing that $500,000 here to the city of Milwaukee.
Number 4.
From WISN 12, this is racist text messages have been sent to people across the country, including right here in Wisconsin. The FBI is investigating messages they say that say a van will pick up people to pick cotton. One of the messages was sent to a 12-year-old. When a text from an unknown number popped up on the 12-year-old Kamia's phone, she immediately told her grandmother. She asked me, "Did I get my text?" And I was like, "What text are you talking about?" And that's when she kind of went into details and said it was about slavery going to pick cotton. I said, "No, I didn't get it," the girl's grandmother said. The sender used the girl's full name, which we aren't revealing, of course, for safety. The scary part is, how did they get her name? The text read, "You've been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Please have all your belongings together by 10 sharp. Our executive slaves will pick you up in a yellow van." Like, clearly you know that's a scam. Something sent to scare people. It was reported to the FBI and to the police. The FBI said they're aware of the offensive texts to individuals around the country. So it's funny. I got one today from Apple that said that there was a charge and that could I verify it. And it had the email, but had I hit it, the link would have taken me somewhere else. And then the number that it came from, well, you know what? Let me check right now. It came from the Philippines. The country code on the phone number was the Philippines. So why would the Philippines be calling? Why would Apple be calling me through the Philippines to tell me to go to this site and call this number? So of course, you know what I did? I called Apple and said, "Hey, can you check my?" And I went and checked it. There were 0 things that I bought. And I was like, yep, I knew it was a scam. You got to be careful when we send texts like this. It's getting scary, and people are doing it to scare children who may not understand or know what it's all about.
Number 3.
City Hall was sent, well, I'll just tell you. Fire department has determined, so says Fox6now.com, that there was nothing hazardous or dangerous in a package that was delivered to the offices of the Milwaukee Election Commission today. Package was delivered on the 5th floor of the offices, and around 9 a.m. today, workers were called 911 to determine if the contents of an envelope had liquid on it. So they checked it. It was a plastic bubble wrap, so it was sealed. As you open it, it was very wet, and it seemed weird. It smelled a little funny, so they called. There was no message. It was just moisture. There was nothing in it, nothing untoward. It was just moisture inside the envelope, and it seemed very odd. So the Milwaukee Fire Department's hazardous materials response team was dispatched to City Hall. South side of the 5th floor was evacuated. Rest of City Hall kept going on, and they concluded after various tests that they reported that they have a pretty intense testing process, and they went through it, and they found that there was nothing hazardous or dangerous about it. So be aware of your mail when you pick up your mail. If you think there's something wrong with it, call somebody. If you think there's something about the mail that doesn't seem right, make sure you reach out.
Number 2.
You remember yesterday we talked about the kid, that the 13-year-old that brought the gun to school, and then it was thwarted when adults did what they were supposed to do. Well, the 13-year-old boy has been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats connected to his role in what officials initially feared was a possible school shooting yesterday at Roosevelt Elementary School in Kenosha. The student was scheduled to make an initial appearance in juvenile court today. Details of the case, including the name and the criminal complaint, will remain sealed because he's 13 years old, as a practice in juvenile court cases. Student went to Mahone Middle School and attended Roosevelt Elementary. According to police, there were no other arrests made and no other injuries resulted. In a search of the 13-year-old's home, police found several airsoft guns, low-power air guns that fire plastic pellets and are used recreationally, which resemble firearms. Police say they have yet to say what's inside of the bag the suspect was seen carrying when he attempted to enter the school. Lieutenant Joshua Hecker, Kenosha Police Department Public Information Officer, said in an email, reporting what was located inside the bags when the suspect arrived at school would be speculation on our part. That sounds like they were not able to find it.
Number 1.
This from CNN.com. 12 students at Salisbury University. I was about to say Salisbury Steak. You ever heard of Salisbury Steak? Salisbury University in Maryland are facing, get this, assault and hate crime charges after they allegedly targeted a man due to his sexual preference and lured him to an off-campus apartment where they beat him, police said. Students, all men ranging from the age of 18 to 21, were charged with first-degree assault, false imprisonment, reckless endangerment, and associated hate crimes in connection with the October 15th incident. Salisbury Police Department said in a news release on yesterday. Police say man was invited under false pretenses to an apartment where a group of men immediately surrounded him upon entering, forced him into a chair in the living room, and proceeded to kick, punch, and spit on him, calling him derogatory names. One of the men met the victim on the LGBTQ dating site Grindr, pretending to be 16 years old, and set a date to meet up for purposes of having sexual intercourse. This is according to the charging document. Did anybody check with the guy and the fact that he was there to have sex with a 16-year-old? Interesting. The legal age of consent in Maryland is what?
16?
16.
That's crazy.
According to the charging document, police reviewed videos of the incident recorded without the victim's consent from one of the defendant's phone. Police allege that when the victim entered the apartment and shut the door, one of the students yelled, "Yee yee," and approximately 15 college-age men appeared from the bedrooms and assaulted him while using homophobic slurs, among other derogatory terms. The victim told police that he tried to leave the apartment several times, was grabbed by multiple people, thrown to the ground, and was eventually allowed to leave and discovered he suffered a broken rib and multiple bruises across his body as a result of the attack. The beating lasted 5 to 6 minutes. Came to light after witnesses reported to the university police on the 29th that one of the defendants showed up with a video of the assault. And see, y'all keep saying how smart or how dumb or how people act, but, you know, stupid is as stupid does. You showed the video of you committing a crime. Salisbury University President Carolyn Ringer Lepre described the assault as truly horrific in a statement. And so the students are facing interim suspension. So they're on suspension and they might be expelled. So they're looking into that. This includes being restricted from campus, being unable to participate in academic coursework, either in person or virtually. At least some of the students are members of Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity, which has been placed on suspension. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Wow. I guess they'll get a double hit, get thrown out the fraternity, thrown out the university, and on this point, they should never be able to get a job anywhere. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What's up?
Well, what was kind of peculiar, and I don't think nobody should be sleeping with no 16-year-old kids, especially if you over.
Hey, that's Maryland law.
Yeah, but I don't know. But
that's true.
My thing is with the MAGAs, like, why are you on that site anyway? And then on the other hand, you never go to a new place and have nothing on you. Because I know back in the day, people used to take a rusty butcher knife because if you cut somebody with it, you would get gangrene. But you never go to a new place that you ain't never been to.
A new bar, new anything.
Yeah. And then you don't take nothing with you because you kind of, I always thought element of surprise was the best key. But if they're on that website looking to pick on people, that probably is already within them if they're on their website section. Yep. So it might be another door that might be open too as well. All right. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day and always protect yourself.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's 1017 The Truth. Wait a minute. It's me, Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors. Get the look you want from your home with customizable windows and doors that are quality tested. Pella's offerings include fold-away hardware, custom colors, ease of maintenance, shades between the glass, integrated roll screens, and noise reduction. Celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with a special offer. 0% down. Get 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's right, 0 for 60 for Gina's 60th birthday. Certain restrictions apply. Book your appointment today. It's the last day. Get started today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. Robert Wall from Concordia University up next.
Don't touch that dial. More Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
I want to ask you just a simple question. Are you afraid of black people? Yes or no? And if so, why? Does it matter where we're from? If we're from Africa, are you more afraid of an African black, a Haitian black, a Caribbean black, a Jamaican black, a Kamala Harris black, like a hybrid black? Are you only half afraid of biracial people? Are you afraid of black people? I'm curious. And if so, why? Has a black person or have black people hurt you or harmed you in any way?
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. If you have any questions about AI, which for me is like every day, all day, holidays and weekends, because I don't get it. Robert Wall is here. How are you, Robert?
Doing well.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's weird because the more I learn about AI, the more I realize I have no idea what was the one? I can't remember where everybody was learning it. The chain something or it was something everybody was like, oh, blockchain. This is something we got to know and we got to know. And then all of a sudden it drifted, and then it was algorithms and then all of a sudden we got AI, and I'm like how does all that even tie together, or does it?
It loosely ties together, but it's just amazing the cycles that we go through with new technology.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, and so when I don't understand stuff, I call people who do that for a living. And so, why is it AI is so confusing? What is it people need to know about AI?
Well, I think it's just like any new technology that's out there, or any big change. It's people react and they panic a little bit at first,
right?
Because of the unknown. And the big thing with AI, I think, is the impact on potential job changes down the road. Is my job going to be safe? Can I be replaced by AI? And those are legitimate questions.
And but then, so we get pushback on something that people don't really understand, and they hear what it might do, and then they panic, kind of sort of like the election.
Right.
And then now you have this, people are upset, but we really don't know what the future holds in AI, do we?
No, we truly don't. And it's basically in its infancy. I mean, it's been around since the 1970s.
Right.
But
why didn't we know that?
Because it took so long to get the technology, the equipment, able to process things at the level that it needs to do AI successfully.
Okay.
And that just happened in November of 22, so just recently.
Huh? Are you serious?
Yeah.
When you say processing it, you mean like those data hubs they have where you have all these computers linked together and they just run.
Right. Thousands of processors.
And I can't imagine how much that costs in electricity.
Oh, it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen some quotes. I don't have them in front of me, but talking about you could power a small city with the power that it takes to run one of these places.
And we're building one of those down in Racine.
Yes.
For Microsoft.
Right.
So every main company or every company that wants to do that is going to have to build one of those.
Right. Yes.
You think Concordia will ever build one?
No, I don't think so.
Or when it becomes cheap enough, they'll be able to.
Well, that's the other thing. The technology changes over the years. So what is out of prohibitive right now could be in 20 years something we could potentially do on a smaller device.
Will it take that long? 20 years? Or is it because of the way the technology is built that it takes time to roll it out?
Probably that's the case, yes.
And so are we at a point in society where we teach this stuff, that we teach AI like we do math, science, literacy, all that we just teach that technology at a young age?
Well, we definitely teach it at the college level, but I don't see it being taught as a standalone subject for grade schoolers.
Why is that?
Because I think what's going to happen is it will be incorporated into other subjects. So you'll be teaching math, but it will use AI techniques and technology behind the scenes to do what you want to do. So it'll be incorporated into the other disciplines.
But what about physical things? Like how do you incorporate AI into my workout, into the bike I drive? Like we've got drivable cars. Can we get bicycles that can do that? Which kind of defeats the purpose of riding a bike, I know.
Sure. I did see something the other day. I saw a kettlebell set for lifting weights.
Right.
And it was AI powered. So what it did was it recorded your workouts. And so you could have an app on your phone and it could tell you how you're doing over time. Now, I don't know if that's a necessity.
I don't know. That sounds like, as I was talking about earlier, it sounds like a luxury.
Yes.
Well, definitely sounds like a luxury. So then, let's say we're at a point where we need to prepare elementary school students, like 3rd and 4th graders, right? Because at that point, you've learned how to read and write on average. What can start there? Do I teach you just the basic math, or do I teach you about algorithms and AI on a very base level? What?
I think we could touch on it maybe as a 1-week unit in a class session, but not as a whole standalone subject.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it that they don't have the intellectual capacity to do it, or is it changing so much that by the time you're 2 or 3 grades down the line, it's obsolete?
One of the things is it's changing rapidly, but the other thing that I see is that it's becoming more mainstream. So you might not actually have to learn that much about it unless you're going into the field.
Okay.
So like a few years ago, you had to sign up for an app. You had to register to be able to run any kind of AI like ChatGPT.
Right.
Now, if you do an Amazon search, you get an AI message that says, here's a summary of the reviews on this product. And it's all AI generated. So it's just there, like it or not.
Right.
Same thing with Google. If you do a Google search, it comes back, and one of the first things it hits is, here's an AI summary of the topic you're asking about.
Right.
So it's going to be built into what we do. And so I think it'll just become a natural part of their lives.
Mm-hmm. But how do you separate that? Because on the same Google search that you get the AI, you also get a sponsored ad that really looks like what you're looking for, but it's the person that paid to have that come up first in that subject.
Right.
How do you get AI not to do that? Or can you really?
That's an interesting question, because I'm not sure. There's probably settings. I haven't looked at it that much myself, but there's probably settings where you can turn that off if you don't want to see that information. But that's the kind of thing we need to do, is give people a choice whether they want it or don't want it.
And we definitely don't have choices in these things.
In some cases, no.
All right, so occupations adjust roughly every 20 years or so, 15 or 20 years. Every generation, right? There's something new. I never thought growing up I would see somebody fly into space in something that looked like an airplane.
Right.
And then fly back and then land the thing. Right? Until I saw Elon Musk shoot something into space, have it orbit, come back, and land itself in the same place it took off as.
Yes.
So we've had, the movie Hidden Figures, where, you sit there and you have to calculate it using, arcane math, and you sit here and you calculate, and you really didn't get it right. We might be within like 20 miles. Like, how do you land within 20 miles? Well, that's accurate. And now you land something at the place where it took off.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How do we then extend that? Like, where's STEM going in the next 20 years?
Wow. I see, again, math for the M in STEM incorporating AI big time. A lot of calculations, predictions, forecasting is going to use AI. In business, it's going to be used for doing forecasting and predictions of sales and marketing. In science, it's going to be used for things like pharmacy and for medicine research, DNA research. Technology, it's obviously just part of that.
I had a question. I don't know if I want to ask it because it'll, but when we replace people, you really can't replace people. They may just find other jobs to do. Like coding, it's great that I can use AI to code, but I don't really know if it's right. Somebody's got to check it. So do you think people won't be doing their jobs to the depth they were doing it, or will they just find new jobs in the future?
There's an interesting phrase out there called upskilling, and they talk about that we're going to need, all of us, whether our jobs are threatened by AI or not, are going to need to have some new skills, and we're going to need to increase what we already know. So there's going to be additional training.
But what will it be? I mean, I don't want to code.
Right.
I don't want to. I want to understand how AI works. I would love to learn how to understand and write algorithms that generate something, because I'm pretty lazy.
Sure.
So when I got to figure something out, or let me see, I've got these things. I don't know how to do that part. Is that just simple coding, or is it something I would have to learn a significant amount of math to do?
No, it doesn't take a lot of math. And one of the big challenges right now, and what AI companies are paying very big salaries for, are people that can write prompts, that they can ask the questions of AI to get the information out. And that's a skill set all by itself. It's just learning to ask questions the right way with the right parameters to get the answer. So you and I could ask 3 or 4 or 5 different ways, and one would come back with better results than others.
That's funny, because I was teaching 3 classes today, and in all the classes, I literally went through how to use GPT in order to create a prompt for an outline for a paper.
Oh, sure.
And so we came up with a title, and then I showed them how, if you search this, you're going to get 1 million pages back. So you need to tell, how long do you want it to be? How many points in your outline do you want? How many sections? How many pages you're going to write? And flesh out the title. Somebody said they wanted to, what was it? The topic was regarding movies and the Bible. And I said, so if you type in movies in the Bible, you're going to get way too much stuff.
Right.
And what Bible is it? Is it a TV show Bible that they write out when you do a new TV show? Or is it the Christian Bible? Or is it and then they started thinking, and we fleshed it out where the prompt literally was like maybe 10 or 15 words.
Right.
The number of pages, this, outline. But then I asked it to create it. And then it came out. And then they saw how different prompts. And then I told them, make sure you save the prompt, because if you find one that works, all you have to do is switch out the information.
Exactly.
And get the same thing.
Right. And I think we're spoiled a little bit because Google lets us be real lazy.
Yeah, it does.
And we can type in 2 words.
Right.
And it'll come back with all kinds of information, and there's 1,000 records out there. With AI, it is much different. You have to be much more specific.
So then how do we teach students, and I know we got a break, and when we come back, how do we teach students to be able to do that, to know this is good information, this is bad information? Because I think social media has ruined us. So, Robert Wall from Concordia University, Assistant Professor of Computer Science.
Yes.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin. When we come back, we're going to talk about that and what protections are really needed around AI before it takes off like social media, and God only knows what happens. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Got any questions? 833-212-1017 is the number.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
An integrated strategy, including infrastructure, community involvement, education, enforcement, and legislative reforms. Yeah, we've kind of heard that before already. It can correct pretty much anything, right? They use it for everything except reckless driving in Milwaukee. I want you to consider this now. Expand the number of police officers in neighborhoods where reckless driving is happening, punish with fines, extended license suspensions, use speed and red light cameras. We need to inform people about the repercussions of reckless driving, and then we need to follow through with punishment. We need to continue to build speed bumps, roundabouts, narrow the lanes to help traffic slow down. And while you're at it, designate some space for bicycles and pedestrians only. We need to encourage the use of mobile apps to report reckless driving since you're on your phone anyway. And finally, promote local and state legislation that successfully combats irresponsible driving. Yeah, we've heard that before, but no. Just enforce the laws we already have on the books. And by combining this, Milwaukee drivers can enjoy a safe environment that lowers reckless driving, all the risks that come with it. Why? Well, this needs to be the Common Council and the city's primary focus. So perhaps next time there won't be that, dead on arrival traffic bill in Milwaukee Common Council or that traffic bill in state legislature. But then if you're driving, you might want to be careful. I mean, the next thing that's dead on arrival could be you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Northbound 43, just between North Avenue and Burleigh, we got a crash that is the right lane block, so that's backing things up all the way back to Blue Mound. Give yourself tons of extra time there. Southbound is going to be a bit slow from before Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Got southbound 43 heavy from Silver Spring to Capitol as well, and then eastbound 94 heavy out of the Marquette all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly clear, a low of 43 at the lakefront, 36 inland tomorrow, increasing clouds, night showers with a high of 56. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth. It's powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snibe. After losing 6 straight games, the Milwaukee Bucks got back into their winning ways on Thursday night, beating the Utah Jazz. This one by a final score of 123-100.
Giannis corkscrewing down low and stuffs it down with one hand again. Giannis, got to be his 8th dunk of the night.
Giannis would finish the night with 31 points, and his co-star Damian Lillard adding 34.
Tonight was the first night they did 4 or 5 actions, and it was beautiful. I can't wait to watch and show them, because that's quicker. It was just beautiful basketball, and the more they do that, the better for all of us.
Next up for the Bucks are the New York Knicks. Tonight, tip-off set for 6:30. And lastly, over to the NFL, where Week 10 got underway as the Baltimore Ravens survived a late push by the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. This one by a final score of 35-34. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Remember, FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, with Robert Wall, who was an assistant professor of computer science, who clearly can do something I could never do. Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to take the time to learn it. So if I wanted to learn something about, I don't know, if I wanted to, right now, I think cybersecurity is all the rage.
Yes.
If I wanted to become a cybersecurity, I don't even know what you would do. Programmer or what?
Just a researcher or a technician.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that do that all the time for banks in Milwaukee, and that's their whole job is full-time cybersecurity, trying to protect the organization.
So would I need to go get a degree or a certification? What would that take?
Either one would work. Lots of people go get a degree, and that's obviously a good way to go. But you can get certifications. There's some that are just take a few months worth of study, and they're not very expensive. Mm-hmm. And there's some that cost quite a bit of money, and they need 5 years of on-the-job experience.
Wow.
So it's a whole continuum.
Okay. So protection. Are we going to need protections for AI? I mean, some people use them for really, really bad reasons.
Right. Well, we already have some protections in place. The vendors that make the AI products have put in some things they call guardrails, just like a guardrail on a highway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's designed to protect us. And so, for example, you can't go into some of these tools and just type in, how do I make a bomb? Because it will deny that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's good.
Okay.
And so a lot of those things are blocked automatically by the companies.
So do they track the slang words that people use for things?
Well, that's the challenge, because slang, and then people have come up with clever ways to get around it. So there's people that actually type things like, my kid is sick and I really need to know how to make a bomb, and somehow it goes through because it sees that you're asking for extra help.
Wow.
And so there's all kinds of people that are just trying to knock on the door and see if they can get around the system.
So then how do you create a protection for AI? I mean, you can't come up with every instance. So what do you do?
Right. One of the big challenges we have is that as an industry, they've tried to come up with some moratoriums. Like for the next 6 months, we all will not release new products. And of course, it's a business environment, and it's competitive by nature, so that people will fight each other, and the moratoriums don't generally work. Because behind the scenes, they're doing as much research as they can, trying to get ahead.
Right. And so when the moratorium is over, I want to be ahead of everybody, so I never really stopped. So when we say protection for the user, protection for the company that created it, because I can eventually see somebody with a mental health issue using something like Alexa or some ChatGPT and asking it a question that gives a totally inappropriate answer, and they act on it.
Right.
So how do you, or really can you protect something like that?
That's a difficult one. It really is hard. How do you envision every scenario that could possibly happen?
Right.
And I don't know if you can do that.
So then would you have to, as those occur, put it into ChatGPT until you have enough? Or
basically, that's what they've done, is they've added more rules as they go on and as they discover these things. And they can look at what kind of questions are being asked, and they can put new guardrails in place.
So, I'm sorry.
No, it's the process, so it's going to take time.
Speaking of process, quantum computing.
Oh, boy.
What is that? Like, I keep hearing this over and over and over and over. What is it?
There's a famous physicist that's very big in quantum computing, Richard Feynman, and he came up and he said he's not sure that anyone can really understand it, and he's a physicist working with it. But basically what happens is computers today, contemporary computers, work with bits, ones and zeros.
Right.
Something's either true or it's false, yes or no, 1 or 0. Quantum computers can have many different states, so it's not just limited to binary, just two things, 1 or 0. So things can be in multiple states at the same time. So what it means is that with quantum computers, we can potentially solve some questions that would take hundreds of thousands of years right now to do on a conventional computer. It could be answered in a few hours.
Wow. And so the processing is so fast.
Yes.
And so broad. And so does it use pieces of information from, I hate to say it like that, from the entire internet?
Yes.
Wow.
And
I wasn't expecting yes.
That's the challenge going forward. We're actually starting to see talk about quantum artificial intelligence machines.
Oh.
So you combine these two subjects, and you end up with a computer that's very fast, very powerful, and yet has intelligence, or
perceived intelligence.
Perceived intelligence.
Because no machine is really sentient.
Right.
So it doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have thoughts. It doesn't have synapses. So it's not going to really think. It'll seem like it's thinking, but it's really not. It's just drawing on information that's already in it.
Right. One of the best descriptions I saw said how it mimics human intelligence. And I like that because it doesn't think the way we think.
And it can't generate its own intelligence and its own thoughts. It can only give what's in it.
Right. And it can summarize.
So essentially, it can make it smaller but not bigger.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how does all this affect power consumption? We talked about that earlier.
Oh, right.
Where we have a grid that really can't take too much more. You've got places like Texas that has their own grid that goes out seemingly every other day or every time a storm comes through.
Right.
How do we figure out that power consumption? So we're fearful of global warming. We're fearful of let me see. When we were growing up, it was it's going to turn cold. We got the Arctic winter coming, and and then it didn't happen. So we've gone through all these iterations regarding the environment, but nobody wants to build what it's going to take, which is probably nuclear.
Exactly.
To be able to have the power for data centers and electric cars and all that.
Right. I saw one dire prediction that said by 2040, we could run out of enough power to power all of the AI requirements we're going to need.
I can believe that.
And that's only 16 years away.
Yeah.
That's not very far out. And so they are looking at nuclear, and obviously there's some bad side effects with that one, and that raises all kinds of questions.
Well, we could just put it on one of Elon Musk's rockets and shoot it into space, right?
Sure.
So we get rid of, I don't know, $1 billion worth of nuclear waste, and it'll cost us $10 billion to get rid of it, right?
Right.
So, okay. That's easy, right?
Solved.
But those are some of the remedies we're going to have to come up with, because our power grid cannot take electric cars for everybody. But now we're trying to get rid of oil. We're trying to get rid of gas. All these things. But essentially, we're going to need that, because until we get revved up with all the power consumption we need for all the AI, and it sounds like AI is going to be taking over a lot of the minuscule things in our lives.
Oh, definitely, like call centers and things like that. It's going to be real commonplace.
So I won't need people?
Less people.
Okay.
But the good news, if we want to finish with something good, is that
I hope so.
they actually predict a net increase in jobs in the future with AI.
Right.
And that's a positive thing.
But why is that? How is that?
Because of more demand for more positions to support all of this.
And so people think that with AI, and I've been saying it, but people have been calling me, it's not true. People are going to lose their job. But places like McDonald's has said, because they use AI to order your food, use an app, that now I can take those same people and do significantly more things around the store, keep it more clean, have other functions and tasks they can do that's offset by AI.
Right.
So nationwide, you think that's gonna take?
I think so. And it's this whole upscaling or upskilling process again to get new skills for people so that they can make a lateral move or hopefully an upward move within an organization.
Okay. Robert, thank you so very much. Robert Wall, assistant. I promoted you, associate professor of computer science at Concordia University, Wisconsin. If I want to go to Concordia and next fall I want to go into computer science, what do I do?
I would just go to cuw.edu, and that'll get you started. You can there's a form right there you can fill out, and it'll come to us, and we'll invite you in for a visit.
Outstanding. Well, thank you much. I appreciate it.
All right.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's a big week for Educators Credit Union during College Scholarship Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Tap into Truth Be Told with DT and Telly this Wednesday at 8 a.m. as they will be joined by Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement at Educators Credit Union. They will highlight the $70,000 in scholarship Educators Credit Union gives to 35 outstanding high school seniors in southeastern Wisconsin. You won't want to miss this interview.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Educators Credit Union is dedicated to helping college students along their journey. Each year, they award $70,000 in scholarships to 35 outstanding high school seniors in southeastern Wisconsin. So, mark your calendars. Applications open on January 13th, 2024. They also offer resources like the ECU College Planning Center to help students successfully prepare for college. For more information on these tools and to apply for the scholarship, visit ecu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Nebraska Republican Robert Bacon was reelected to Congress, so that gives the Republicans yet another body in Congress and another setback for the Democratic Party. You know, let me read these, and then I'm gonna jump into that. Truth is the home of Marquette University High School Hilltoppers football. Round 3, playoff matchup. Hilltoppers look to keep their playoff journey alive. They're going to host the Bayport Pirates. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock tonight. Of course, high school sports on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm trying to read at the same time. This Saturday, 10 a.m., for Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance, hosted by me, Dr. Ken Harris, and my good friend Fred Johnson, Vice President and Wisconsin State Manager for Erie Insurance. We'll be joined by Doc Kurt. He's an auto adjuster at Erie Insurance. We all have or know someone who's been in a car crash. And Doc will provide some tips on how you can maximize your payout after an accident. So, don't miss Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance, this Saturday, 10 a.m., right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. 833-212-1017 is the number. So there's this woman, J. Ann Selzer. What is she known for? You know, have you ever heard of that name before? Well, here's the deal. I don't understand why every single time we pay people to do all these polls about who's going to win, and then they're wrong. Every single time. Like, wrong. She's going to look at how they understand. Because, you know, Iowa is that bellwether state, right? So there was unprecedented worldwide fascination. This is from the Des Moines Register. unprecedented worldwide fascination with an outlier poll that showed Kamala, I want to get hollered at, leading Donald Trump by 3 percentage points. Final poll followed a surprise September poll, showed the vice president had closed Trump's lead over Biden in a June poll by 14 points. Got it? Trump won 56-47. Last time I checked, that was 9 points. How did she get it wrong? That's outside the margin of error. Plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5 points. That's outside of that. That means what? They, like pretty much all the other polls in America, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, were wrong. And so the question is, what are you doing your polls with, in, around, that's causing you to be wrong every single time? Every single time you're wrong. Here's what I think. I think the polls are biased. I think the polls are biased towards Democrats. The polls are biased towards liberals in that, not in a negative way, but because they're liberal, they tend to skew liberal, and most conservatives don't answer the phone. You know? They don't answer the phone. So when they don't answer the phone, they're not counted. So you may do this poll, and this poll shows that you're going to win, only to find out later that you didn't win. And because you didn't poll correctly, your poll came up short. And that's what happened in Iowa. And that's what happened all over the country. And so there's got to be another way to poll. There's got to be another mechanism to get the information that's going to tell accurately who people are going to vote for. Had they had accurate polls, that would have enabled the Democratic Party to be able to counter all the things that Donald Trump's folks did to win the election. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe will be on for about 30 minutes, and then we got Hilltopper football coming up at 6:30. We'll kick off at 7 o'clock. Make sure you hang around all weekend long for the best of everybody here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Have a great weekend. God bless our veterans. Monday is Veterans Day. I'll be here, but Monday is Veterans Day.
Are we not off if it's...
Are we off?
Oh, we should be.
But we're not. So I'll be here Monday for Veterans Day. God bless. Take care. Stay safe. I'm out.